This next story may sound like science fiction, but it is real. An elevator going about 12 miles into the sky to carry people to a waiting spacecraft. There's a Canadian company trying to come up with a way to cut the cost of space exploration, and this is their idea. Tarek Malik's the managing editor for Space.com. What's happening? Good day to you.
Thanks, Bill.
So they've been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah, so the space elevator concept, this kind of idea that you can kind of take an elevator car to the stars, has been around for decades, where you would basically build a station out at geosynchronous orbit so that it's right over the same spot over Earth all the time. And then there'd be a cable that would come 26,000 miles down to Earth. You take the car up
26,000 miles.
So that's the elevator concept. The big thing is that's a huge structure. You have to have some kind of really hardy kind of cabling system, really technically challenged. People are still working on it now. This new elevator, though, kind of takes that trip, cuts it down to 12 miles, and then you just go to the top, and then you launch off a rocket there.
Okay, so here's what I'm trying to grasp here. 12 miles is like a shortcut compared to 26,000.
Exactly.
The concept is to put you at a certain level where you don't need the thrust of a rocket to go into space. Is that the idea?
Yeah, the idea would be that you would take this elevator up this inflatable kind of stack, this tower, 12 miles high, and then up there there'd be either a space plane or a rocket, and because you're already 12 miles up, you're over much of the thick part of the atmosphere. There's not a lot of resistance to your rocket when you get that high. You don't need as much fuel. You're already kind of about a third of the way up, or a tenth of the way up to space. So it'd be cheaper for those vehicles. I would assume they'd have hangars up there to take their own elevators up to the top, and then they could get you, into space, land someplace on Earth, come back to the tower.
So this is possible.
It's possible. The design is really innovative in that it kind of takes this idea of a space elevator and makes it into kind of like a skyscraper approach. Things that we know how to do now. We can build towers. It's just a taller tower.
So this isn't just fantasy. I mean, you're really buying into the idea that you could go 26 miles in the sky.
I think that this is a really novel approach. It takes what we know to do now, build inflatable modules. There's a company in Las Vegas building inflatable space stations. One of them is going to launch pretty soon to the station.
Wow.
They're taking that kind of an approach, this technology we can do now, and then just seeing how far they can push it. You build a tower 12 miles high,
shorter way to go.
There is some challenge to keep it stable, right?
Yeah.
So they say that it'll be actively guided. We're not really sure what that means, but they seem to have an idea that they need
more
to do
to
something.
come. Thank you, Tarek Malik, Space.com.